Hey, what's up? Today is Monday, the 16th of September. I just completed my 21st flight and I'm driving home. We had another cross country, today being my third cross country flight. We went to the same destination. However, things were a bit different today. It wasn't just going to and from. This time, we learned about how to do precautionary landings as well. But yeah, let's talk about it more on the drive home. So going into this week of flying, things are really looking up in terms of frequency. Expecting to fly a lot this week. And in terms of milestones as well, tomorrow, God willing, will be my first solo. All I have to do is perform one solo good with my instructor present, and then he's going to hop out and it will be just me. It's something that seems a little daunting if you think about it for too long, but then you just have to remind yourself, hey, if you've been doing this so long without your instructor inputting, that's one. And then if you've been doing it throughout an entire progress check and the chief flight instructor didn't have to input either, then clearly you're ready. Anything stopping you at that point is just a mental factor. And as I knew from day one, from the first flight, it's going to be mind over matter. This video might be a little louder than normal. I have to have the windows down today because AC is not working again. I thought I had it fixed, thought it was an electrical issue. The fuse was okay. I swapped up the relay. The relay was also okay regardless because I switched it with a horn and the horn is still working. So it was working for a while after I switched the relay, but now it's not working again. So who knows, maybe it will start working again tomorrow morning, but we'll have to wait and see, and probably have to take it to an AC shop at one point or another. But I feel like it's a electrical issue. But yeah, as I was saying, with today's cross-country flight, we went back to Vernon Field again. However, I learned how to do a precautionary landing and also with everything involved with that. So for example, I learned how to do a high inspection and a low inspection to make sure that the runway is suitable for landing. We used the abbreviation codes to make sure that the runway is actually something we can land on. So C is condition. Is the runway fit? Is it in good condition for an airplane to land on? Are there any potholes or anything? Just, what is the overall condition of the pavement? O is obstacles. Are there any tall trees on approach? Is there anything on the runway itself? Like maybe it's an abandoned airfield like Vernon Field and they might have other things put up there because it's now being used for other things. We need to look out for those obstacles. W, width. Is it wide enough for the airplane to land and its wings not strike anything? L, length. Is it long enough for your airplane to stop in time? And S, safety and security. Is it going to be in a safe area where maybe somebody could assist you, or that it would be okay for you to stay there and wait on somebody to help you? So we did a simulated engine out to land first, and then we did the actual forced landing, precautionary landing procedure, which is just circling the field in a pattern and visually inspecting it as close as possible. This is of course assuming you still have enough engine power to descend and climb again, hence the precautionary landing. The way back was also very interesting. I got to finally go under the foggles, or go under the hood for the first time. And foggles, if you don't know, it's impromptu, that's the correct word to use, of fog and goggles. So assuming that I, as a visual flight rule pilot, no instrument rating, got stuck in bad weather, and I did not have any more visual references, I need to build my muscle memory and confidence in the aircraft instruments to take me safely. So what we private pilots do, or I guess what the students training for our private pilots will do, is they have foggles, which essentially blocks out your entire outside. It blocks out your entire visual picture of the outside. So it's just you and the instruments. Now, when it's just you and the instruments, of course, you have to rely on those instruments. You may feel a sensation that's telling you you're doing one thing, but if the instruments doesn't say that, the instruments don't say that. But yeah, relying on those instruments is what's going to take you safely out of bad weather. One of the biggest things I learned from that experience with the foggles is that you have to be very gentle on the controls, even more gentle than you already are in flight, because think of it this way. If you have no outside reference, you're going to be very susceptible to spatial disorientation. Now start that on top of a sudden movement in the aircraft's control axis, and you're going to, essentially aggravate whatever chances you had of spatial disorientation. Knowing that, I really took it into account, and my instructor gave me a really good technique to go about it. Essentially, you don't want your roll indicator to pass your level indicator, and I'm talking about what you're seeing on the attitude indicator. You don't want the aircraft to actually be rolled more than whatever is level. So you want the two indications to barely be passing each other if you're trying to turn back onto a certain heading. So yeah, flying back in on the foggles using the instruments, very fun. I wouldn't really say it's something I was thinking of looking forward to, but going forward, I am looking forward to keep getting some more instrument time under my belt. So, even though I'm going to get my instrument rating, of course, I still need to be ready ready for the unexpected. That's just life. That's just life, especially as a pilot, you have to expect the unexpected. Now, when we're coming into land now, it was a very interesting situation. It was late evening, so of course the winds are a lot more active than they would be early morning, and it's a very strong headwind, which is great for landing which is great for takeoffs and landings. However, you have to really be aware of your speed when you're coming into flare. Now, I wasn't exactly thinking about that in the moment of landing itself, but fortunately my instructor was there with me and gave me the quick advice to put in a little more power, because even though I already know that pitching more, if I'm dropping too fast, I know that will work regardless. However, I'm not going to know if that alone would have been able to smoothen that landing. Fortunately, I was on the throttle, so as soon as my instructor gave me that instruction, I was like, okay sir, so I just put in a little bit more power, and it seemed to be at the perfect time, combined with pitching back more, and it was a smooth landing, so it was recovered well. Then we taxied back in, shut down, parked, and now I'm just waiting on tomorrow, and I'm gonna go home, try and get a couple simulator sessions in if possible, and just at the very least be mentally ready for tomorrow. I need to be mentally ready to take on those circuits. Doesn't matter how well I did on every training flight up to this, doesn't matter how well I did on my progress check, it doesn't matter how well I would have done in whatever situation. All that matters tomorrow is that I can get a good circuit in that first time when my instructor asks me. If I don't get a good circuit in that time, then there's no solo on for that day. Simple as that. And that's just how it goes. Even with the check ride, if I'm doing my private pilot check ride and every part of the flight is immaculate up until taxi. Maybe I taxi too fast when I'm returning, and then I end up hitting something. Even though everything else was fine up until that, then it wouldn't matter. It only matters after the engine shuts down. So it doesn't matter how good I am up to whatever point before. All that matters is if I'm able to follow through and complete the mission. It doesn't matter if 80% of the mission was good, 100% has to be good. There's no room for errors like that in aviation, none at all. So God willing, the next time you hear me talk to you, it's going to be after my first solo and with a bunch of joy in my face. I have a nice video idea in mind as to how I'm going to present the whole solo, and you'll have to stay tuned. You just have to stay tuned, and I feel like it's going to be a really good idea. But all the time will tell. First things first, I have to complete the solo to begin with, right? But thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, leave a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more about my journey in becoming a pilot in Jamaica. If you have any feedback, let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate any feedback at all. And just again, thank you for watching this video. My name has been Robert Watson. Remember to always be improving. I'll see you again very soon. God bless.
Yeah. I only tell you the truth. I ain't got nothing to lose. Yeah, I gave my life to God and I'm still ballin'. Ain't nobody that can tell me I ain't all in. Late at night I hear the devil steady calling me. That's when I pray to the Father. Daddy give me strength to fight these monsters.